Madam Chair, I recommend approval of the use of the U.S. Commodities Government Purchasing Alliance for Oracle Products, Services, and Solutions, number 13120, MCSD number 15-0057-SM, an additional $1,010,604.58, not to exceed $2,108,548.38. Revision number 3.
So this particular one is to support the purchase of PeopleSoft as our ERP system moving forward. The next item would be centering around the implementation services for the PeopleSoft product.
We're implementing this at a sort of a fast track pace. We're trying to deal with the.
That is a correct description of the pace of the project. Yes.
Which could create some additional cost.
We've encapsulated the cost of the project, of the schedule. Currently, it's sitting at about 13 months into the scope of services in the implementation contract. So what you have me here for is to manage that cost to the dollar amount that we'll be discussing on the next item.
Okay.
So you'll discuss the software on the next item?
This Oracle is the
Oracle
software.
is the software.
The next item is the implementation services with cyber.
Oh, okay, because I look at, and your pages aren't numbered, so, but it's the updated 5-year ERP system cost, and the 126 estimate was 8.5 million, and then the 3A cost is 9.8. That's a jump of 1.3.
This is, Dr. Green, if you want to speak, but
Okay.
this is a time and materials contract, and so we've estimated it to the best of our ability.
So I want to be really clear. And I understand all the work that's been done on this project, and I'm not, negating any of that.
Certainly.
But what you're telling us is if they get halfway through the project and decide, you know what, prices have changed, we need another $1 million or $2 million, we're on the hook for it.
No, I do not believe that to be an accurate reflection. We have a contract. We have a number of hours to perform under this contract. We have a statement of work for the contract, and if anything is to change, it must go through a change order process that both we and our vendor have a governance process in accepting that change order.
Translation, we're on the hook for it, because we certainly can't back out of the contract once it's started.
Although you're correct, Mr. Colon, we would be on, but we have put in all the variables and using another school district's model to try to prevent any of that happening.
So what you're telling us is because of their experience, we shouldn't get any real surprises.
I think we're both old enough and experienced enough to know that's probably never a statement we want to make on camera. None of these projects, I know you know this, none of these projects are without risk. I would never try to stand up here in front of you and suggest otherwise. It has risk of their performance. It has risk of our performance. Our performance must be spot on to make sure we can meet the 13-month schedule that we have laid out in front of us.
It's this board that's responsible, that this board that a year from now people could point to and say, listen, you guys really didn't do steps that you should do before saying we're going to be writing these checks.
We believe that Patrick Fletcher and his team have done a robust job trying to identify the issues in a fairly short time frame. Again, your scope is very broad, and the time frame is rather aggressive, but capable of doing it.
I am going to pledge to you, Mr. Blitzko, that this will work and we will make it work. I will also state that this is an excellent contract and we do have all our ducks in order.
So I'm going to call for the vote on this approval. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Madam Chair, I recommend approval of the use of the State of Florida IT consulting contract for PeopleSoft Consulting NCSD number 16-0077-CC, not to exceed $7,013,211.
I will move.
So
this
moved.
be- Oh, Mr. Minor, you approve this be
We're not going to go through all this again. I think we made it all the points.
Minor moved.
I made my points.
Second.
and Gauss was second. Do you have anything you want to say? Does anybody have any questions of Mr. Fletcher?
Very smart move.
Are there any questions or any discussion on this motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries, I believe, 5-0. Thank you very much.
There'll be system training and training materials, so we will just make sure that that is going as intended, because one of the big resource drains on a system is people not understanding how to use it.
But we just asked for some sensitivity. We've been asking this from our school district employees and staff and administrators, and we do ask for some sensitivity from the board, because these people really are overwhelmed just because of what we're asking them to do, because nothing like this has been done in almost 20 years in this district. So it's a big change, but it's going well, and we're very pleased with the results so far.
The system is designated to go live. Our desire is April 1st, 2017, but depending on how we continue to matriculate through the processes that we're working through, the latest I would say is August of 2017. And I'm looking at Mr. Fletcher. I'm hoping he'd give me a nod or something.
Yeah.
So that,
Here's a question I've gotten, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but we talk about the ERP system and stuff, and we talk about when it's going to come online, and it might come on in April, and maybe it won't get on until August. And you look at the internal auditor report, and it looks like there may be a shortage of resources to even accomplish. Are we going to have to allocate more resources in order to meet these schedules? I mean, what is the realistic possibility that our ERP system is going to have to be increased as a budget to get to that timeline? Or is the timeline maybe unrealistic? I'm not sure, but Dr. Green maybe can answer that, or she can have Mr. Fletcher or someone. But we've got some timelines there, and when I look at the internal audit report, he's talking about we may not have adequate resources assigned to it to get it there.
I know that they have indicated that they feel this is a risk. There are other pieces to this that we feel we may think differently. One, the people that are involved in the process are high-level individuals. Mr. Fletcher, who's the CIO, Rebecca Roberts, who's the CFO, Dr. Sarah Brown, who's the Executive Director of HR. They are the individuals that are spending large amounts of time tied to the training, as well as some other directors. They say that we need to hire other resources. Well, one, you're not going to go hire another director to come do the director's job. In speaking to them, they are not prepared to say, yes, we feel like we need help. They believe that based on what they've learned and what they're doing, that we need to give this some more time to see, one, evaluate where would we use additional resources.
So with that, the task order you see in front of us, we are requesting additional funding and a reorganization of the project team that's going to be on there. Currently, Amanda and myself are the only two dedicated resources on the project. We need to expand that a little bit. It was some of the cause of our delay, and as you see in Shin and Company's reports, that was always brought up in theirs, that resource constraints were binding us.
And I can't be responsible for something unless I'm in charge of it. And so this project will be reporting to me, so I will be ultimately responsible for the success of it. Or not really, I'll be responsible for anything that goes wrong. The success of it will be Amanda and Rob and the cyber team. So let me clarify that.
All I want to know is that the total cost?
The total cost will also include the original $7 million from task order 1. So the total cost of the project will be $14.5 million to implement all 3 task orders, 1, 2, and 2A and 2B.
How firm is that? Because they originally budgeting us $9 to $10 million, and now we're at another $7 million. So that comes out to more than 15 million to me, so.
Yes. Well, the original 9 million also included the 2 million to purchase PeopleSoft itself and the software costs, everything that's there. So if you want to add in software costs as well, yeah, we'll be at around 16.5
Yeah,
million.
I want the total cost.
$16.5 million.
And in the budgeting that you're doing for all of this, what's your contingency amount? We know that this is a huge project. I'm very impressed with your report and oversight of this, but you always need a contingency. You're always going to run into something.
We are running pretty much at budget. There's no extra money that we know of in contingency. We have about $350,000 on the overall budget that we'll have room to play with on certain things. Right now, that's about it.
That's low for a project of this
Very low.
nature.
It is.
Very low. Good luck to all of us.
Okay. There is one item we want to mention. I'll let Ron talk about a cyber update.
Reports, cyber was going through a Chapter 11 reorganization as of recent, and Gap Gemini has stepped in and made a bid to purchase them, which is an excellent opportunity for us because they're the Mercedes-Benz of this type of business.
Implementing an ERP this size is a task that no one wants to do. That's why we didn't buy one for over 20 years, because it is painful, it is bumpy, and there will always be problems. There will be many days. The building's too high for me to jump off and just be in a coma for 3 weeks. So I won't jump off this building.
Another constraint we're running into is resource constraint, both on our team and within the district in the areas where we have our subject matter experts. So like we pointed out, we have 6 dedicated resources, not including Amanda and myself, so there's 8 of us total. Each one of the girls that's on the project is handling about 5 modules on average. That is quite a workload for them to do.
And are we considering that position also tonight?
No.
But we're going to be considering that soon, I hope?
Again, it comes down to money and people. And we don't have, you stated whether we're going to bring more positions to the board, and we simply can't afford to, although we want to. Cyber has an individual consultant for each module. We have 5 BAs that are handling 5 to 8 modules apiece. We should be doing something similar if we really wanted to move this forward.
Let me ask this differently. Can we afford not to?
The September 15th update, which was discussed at our meeting last week, did show that most areas were red and that it was trending up. That report, of course, was significantly worse than the report the month before, which has caused us all a great deal of concern. They are looking to have a go-live date of July 1st. We understand if there's more time and more resources to focus on the project, that yes, things should look better. Our concern is that nobody dropped the ball. Everything has to be done on time and done correctly. There are decisions that the district needs to make which must be made quickly, because if you lose time now and miss that July 1st deadline, it will have serious implications for this particular program.
When you identify a void or gap in resources, even if you have to go to the top of the building and yell and scream or call,
If you like that,
really,
I
like,
need one person for every module, and we have 28 modules, so
realistic,
that was my original
realistic,
presentation.
Denied.
I didn't
but
empower
not
that.
reserved,
Not empower me on that.
but not
You're
reserved.
not empowered.
So the first thing I want to point out to everyone, which is on page 3, is we have 82 days, calendar days to go live. That is 58 actual working days, which is not very many. So we have a large volume of work to do, but we have made a lot of progress. Again, we have training on red because we were a little behind schedule, a lot behind schedule on trying to get the training materials developed.
Of course, everyone knows that we did go live, and so we are really excited about that. In addition to that, we really weren't celebrating until we got payroll done, and so we've been working feverishly on that for the last several days. The real test tomorrow will be that check our bank accounts and make sure it's there, but we did push the money out. We had the soft serve, the employee self-service. We told people to go online and start looking at their paychecks, and if they did see any discrepancies or concerns. And of course, we did have some hiccups here. Everything is fixable. So we are dealing with the staff issues one-on-one, and we'll have those corrected. And so we're really celebrating that, and it's a long time coming. I know all of you that have been with this project for the last couple years have known whether it was actually going to happen or not, but the staff really dedicated themselves to it, and district-wide. There's some growing pains with this. We know that, but we're going to continue to work with people and deal with them. So we just ask for everyone's patience.
Superintendent remarks.
Yes, I appreciate everyone's patience as we're rolling out our new ERP system. Just note that we are working on the bugs, and I'm sure by Christmas break, we're not going to notice any problems. So just a few months. We're working on it. Thank you for your patience.
I am still concerned about I'm pointing fingers at leadership in general, past leadership, back to 2 superintendents ago. But I said this before and I'll say it again. I feel like we have at least 2 employees that we kind of set up for failure. We're still kind of working those issues out, but even beyond that, and I want to express my support for those 2, for this team, because I am still concerned that we have a team doing this work that is still understaffed and overworked.
I think some of you remember that the cyber contract, as Mr. Kennedy said, was something that was brought up the first day I got here. And it was done by 2 superintendents ago. And at the time, just looking back on my experience in corporate America, the first thing I said was, wow, you're going to do this for $9.5 million? I don't believe it. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll vote for it. And if it comes in under $15 million, I'll be very happy. And you can look back at the tape. Now, to be honest, we're at $20 million.